Welcome, Year 10. I hope you're well. We are going today look at refining the user interface. This relies on you sharing your work with somebody in the class that you trust, who you think will be able to give you reliable feedback. We've done it before in the lessons. However, as we're coming to the end of this section of the course, we really need to be getting as much feedback from each other as possible. Remember, the reason why we are doing feedback between peers is because I am not allowed to give you specific one-to-one feedback on your project itself. So we're trying to utilize as many feedback mechanisms as we can. I'm going to guide you through the process one more time and then leave you to complete the coursework over the next 3 periods. Okay? So firstly, you should always review your interface with other people that use it. This is going to help you identify and improve the user interface based on direct contact with somebody else. 3 key areas: present it to the user, then refine based on the feedback that you get, and then repeat until you've completed the project in its entirety. So you want to give the project to another person in your team, share it with them on OneDrive, get them to have a go at it, and then ask them for their feedback on it and complete the design based on their feedback. It's a very simple process. So in the real world, the users may be the client who are paying for the interface, or it might be the actual customer that you want to be using it in the first place. So in our context, the client would obviously be Manchester City or Etihad, who we're producing the app for, but it might be the actual customer, the people that are going to be going to the stadium and using the application, that we want to review the process in the first place. Please make sure that there's adequate testing for the system. So you want to give people the real app that you are working on. So share that PowerPoint presentation, and not pictures or anything like that. You want to actually share the PowerPoint presentation, and sometimes they might be asked to complete specific tasks. So you might say to them things like, "I want you to be able to find your seat and tell me what food vendors are available at that seat." And in which case, if they can't complete that task, then you know that there's a problem with your design. When you gather the feedback, you might want to do that through questionnaires, through an interview, through a focus group. So that means 3 or 4 of you getting together and working out where the problems are. Or you might want to observe them actually going through the app in real time. And in which case, because we're obviously doing distance learning at the moment, they might want to record a video of them doing a walkthrough using your app and send that back to you. You then need to refine your work based on feedback. Okay, it should identify improvements that you need to make. Now, please don't try and let your personal opinion affect your decisions. Okay, it's not about whether you think your own design is really good, or it's not about what you think of the other person. It is about, do you think the feedback is useful? Okay. Once you've identified the improvements that need to be made, you need to make sure that you're retesting it to prevent further errors occurring. So when you make any changes, send it back to the other person and get them to test it again to see if it works. Okay. You need to repeat that process until you're complete. Please don't think that this work is complete until you've tested it all on a specific person. All right. It's really important. It's really important that we do this process now, because if we don't do the process now, we won't have time in the remainder of the course. Okay. This is our final work on this app. The deadline for making sure this app is in is after the Easter break, which means you have these lessons and then the 2 weeks before we sort of come back to our remote learning timetable. In the Easter break, however, I'm going to give you some other work to do on the next module. Okay, so please don't rely on using all your learning time over the Easter holidays to be concentrated on building this app. Okay, there will be other things to do, so you want to try and get it finished in the next 3 hours of learning time. So period 6 today, and then Friday period 5 and 6 also. It is really important that we get this done. There will be no time later on. Good luck. I hope it goes well. And if you have any problems, please send me an email. There's been some great work so far. I think these are going to be really good. And what we really want to do is try and get them signed off as distinction level pieces before we move on to the exam content. All right. Thanks very much, ladies and gents. Well done. And I will see you soon.